Welcome, and thank you for your interest in MacPractice's EMR ability. EMR is a powerful tool that takes the concept behind filling out a patient's chiropractic exam form to an electronic medical record. EMR forms in MacPractice are broken down into individual sections that can be used on multiple forms. MacPractice also has several free shared forms that you can download and use immediately. These free forms span a wide variety of specialties and types of forms, ranging from general chiropractic, back centers, physical therapy, and so on. These forms can be downloaded and changed so that you can customize them for your own needs, such as adding your own office logo and demographic information. MacPractice will also work with you if you need a new form created for your office, either by helping you make your own forms or by having a form specialist create forms for you. Once your forms are ready, they can be categorized under different nodes in the sidebar of the EMR ability if you choose. Creating a patient exam form is done by selecting a form and clicking the plus button. MacPractice will prompt you to select a patient if you haven't already done so. You can then begin filling out the patient's medical record. Each form will be filled out differently depending on how the form was designed. While using EMR, you will see a palette open, which will give you additional information about the form, as well as tools for drawing, and an attachment panel, which will show you everything that's currently attached to the patient. The pane on the right of the screen will show you the major sections of the form so that you can easily navigate to another area. Forms might pull existing information from the patient's record onto the form. These pull fields work just like the Notes ability and allow you to have information pulled into the form without having to re-enter data that has already been entered somewhere else. For example, you can see the patient's name, date of birth, age, and sex in this form. Forms might contain text fields for short amounts of text, and they can even be formatted to allow only certain types of data. For example, this date field will only allow numbers to be entered in a date format. Pop-up menus can either pull information that already exists in MacPractice from the References ability, such as this Referring Physicians list, or they can be populated with your own information, such as this Severity menu. Combo boxes can also be used. Combo boxes work just like pop-up menus, but allow you to add additional information as you fill out a patient form. Text boxes allow you to enter large amounts of text, such as additional notes or dictation. Forms might also include checkboxes or a slider. Labels might appear next to each field or within the body of the form itself to provide instructions. Another element that can be used in an EMR form is a progress note, which is a combination between a pop-up menu and a text box. Progress notes allow you to choose from a selection of text to quickly enter a medical note with as little typing as possible. You can edit the text that you have selected to change formatting or to add additional information. Progress notes are also one of the few elements that can be edited on the fly as you complete a patient form. You will see titles on the left that correspond with your options in the pop-up menu, and a text composition area on the right that allows you to create the body of text. Your form might also include images, which can be static, or you can draw on top of the image. You can also have image placeholders, which will allow you to add an existing image for the patient onto the EMR form by dragging it from the palette. Your form might include a signature element, which will allow you to sign the form either by using a signature pad, or by using a trackpad on the laptop, or even just by using the mouse cursor. While you are filling out a patient form, you might need to see additional information about the patient's medical history. This information will always be accessible within the EMR ability in the clinical ledger at the bottom of the screen. If you need to view past medical information for a patient, you will not need to leave the form that you are currently working on. When you select an item in the clinical ledger, you will see additional information about that record on the right. Past notes, EMR forms, and attachments will give you a preview of that item. You can also double-click on the record to either view a preview or navigate to the record to see more information. You can use the back button to quickly navigate back to the form. As you complete EMR forms in MacPractice, a database will be created to store information you input on your forms. You can view this information by right-clicking or control-clicking on the clinical ledger area and switching to the form table. Here you can see other instances where I have used this form for the patient, so I can see how the patient's condition has changed over time. You will also be able to export this information for all patients in your database in case you need to do additional condition tracking. Once you are completely finished with a form, you can lock it to prevent any further changes to the form and making the form a permanent part of the patient's medical record. EMR is just another one of the great many features in MacPractice that helps you store and manage a patient's medical information.